Hello there. So, hello there. Let's do it properly. Hello there. Howdy doody. How are you? My name is Dave and I am driving in my car. I wish it was a Jaguar, but it's not. Let me introduce you to my car. I drive a Nissan Qashqai and I love my Qashqai. When it was delivered, there she stood on my drive. Bright red, big, bold and brassy, and I fell in love with her and her name came to me immediately, Delilah. And I love Delilah. I love her because, as I said, she's big, bold and brassy and she loves me taking her out. And we do a lot of going out together. I do at least a 4-hour drive, 2 hours each way on my way to work, as I'm working currently in central London. I have about a 90-mile journey each way to get to work. And here's the thing. I'm sitting in my car and I love it. I'm driving along, I'm listening to music, and I find I get myself into this really creative space. Do you know what I mean? You know, just before you go to sleep, just before you wake up, your brainwave cycles slow down and you become very creative. You're in an intensive learning state, and that can happen when you're driving a car. If you've ever been driving your car and you got to where you were going, but you can't remember the journey, that's because you were in this sort of like almost trance-like state. And that's how I kind of get when I'm driving. And I find myself in a very creative space. And I find that I'm coming up with some fantastic ideas, some fantastic things that I could speak about, because I am a bit of a speaker. And the thing about it is I'm going, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. But when I get home, or when I get to work and get involved in the business, or when I get home, I often forget what I thought about. And so all those fantastic thoughts have gone to waste. And I thought to myself, hey, Dave, come on, get with the program. You can spend 2 hours on a journey each way, 4 hours a day, speaking to the world, broadcasting worldwide on these fantastic little thoughts that are coming into your head. And so this is the first episode of I'm driving in my car. I might call it I'm talking in my car, because that's what I'm doing. I'm by myself talking in my car, and I want to share good stuff with you. I believe that just a word or a sentence or a phrase could help someone somewhere, could inspire them just to go forward into their lives and to help them to take the first steps on improving their lives and taking them forward to achieve their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations. And really, that's all I'm hoping to do on this drive. Just talk what's coming into my mind and sharing it with you. And I want to share it with the world. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care who you are. You might be rich or poor, old or young, male or female, clever or stupid, successful or not successful. This is for you, because as I say, there might just be one word, a sentence. There's an old-fashioned saying from England that your life can turn on a dime. A dime was an old coin that you could have, a very small coin, and they said you could turn, well, that's American, isn't it? A dime is American. We should say on a sixpence. You can turn your life on a sixpence. You can turn your life around on a word, a sentence or a phrase. And that's what I want to do. I want to help you somehow to find a better place for yourself in the world. One of my first thoughts to share with you is the fact that we can't all be captains of industry. We can't all be a celebrity. We can't all be very rich. We can't all be famous. We can't all be great authors. You know, we can't be a named person in life. We can't all own a massive house, have that fleet of cars, have a private jet, have people fawning at our every word. Not everybody in this world that's their destiny. Not everybody can get that in their lives. But here's the thing. Here is my most insightful thing that I can share with you out of all the broadcasting that I'm going to do. We can all be happy. And those people that have got what we perceive to be everything in the world, everything that you'd ever hoped and wished that you could get, very often they're not happy when they get it. And there is an old saying about character. Do you know what character is? You know, you've got to be very careful that you haven't got gifts that take you to places where your character can't keep you. And you've seen this so often in so many famous people who have got to where they would have dreamed to get, with all the trappings of success, of wealth, of adulation, and it ain't enough. It don't sustain them because their character can't cope. You can be happy. You absolutely can. You can see people who have got nothing, and I mean nothing, but they got nothing but a smile on their face. We can all, it's in us all to be happy. And there's various, like, what is happiness? Do you know what I mean? What is happiness? Do you know what happiness is? I've done a lot of research on happiness. The one thing for sure that I know is that you you can't define happiness for another person. I can't tell you what is going to make you happy, because your happiness is yours, and what will make you happy ain't necessarily going to make me happy. So individually, happiness is different for each of us, but the best generic, and I mean the best generic definition of happiness that I ever heard was from a lady when we was just talking about happiness and saying what it is, and she just sort of came up and said, to me, happiness is peace of mind, a peaceful mind. And I think that is the best definition, a generic definition, is a peaceful mind. Because there's plenty of people who've got everything in the world that they ain't got a peaceful mind. There's so many people being busy that they forget to be happy. The one thing that we're all striving for in our life is that please just give me some happiness. We measure our day. We talk about it every day. Am I happy? Am I not? Or basically, what we say is, I'm pissed off. My day's gone wrong. The world's on fire. It's all bad. We don't actually think about consciously our happiness. And so many people, consequently, are not happy. I can help you for sure, to get to a happier place. Because I was in a very unhappy place, and I mean very unhappy. Decided to turn my life around, decided to go and search for happiness. And guess what? If you don't look for something, you ain't never ever going to find it. And well, I went to look for my happiness, and I found it. Just to introduce the journey to you, so I am living in southern England, the UK, Angleterre. I'm an Englishman. I'm 59 years of age, and I travel from a place called Petersfield. I drive up the A3. Join the M25, which is a motorway which goes around the edge of London, circular, goes around the centre of London. I branch off at the M40, which takes me into central London, and that journey takes me about 2 hours, because as you get into London, and I love going to London, because even in a car, as you start coming up the M40, you start seeing all the tall buildings on the horizon and the famous landmarks like the Post Office Tower, like the Shard. You can see it all in the distance, and you can feel the energy, the vibe change in your car. Even when you're sat on your own in your car driving to London, you can feel that vibe, and it's creative, and man, I love it. So I'll share this journey with you. For me, the journey is in 3 parts. First of all, it's from Petersfield up the A3 to the M25, part 1. Part 2 is along the M25, and I go past Heathrow Airport, and again, I love the airport. I used to be a taxi driver. I used to love going to the airport because I love seeing the planes. I used to be more excited going to the airport than the people I was taking there, and they was going on holiday, and they was going to go on an aeroplane themselves, and I was more excited than they were. So I go past the Heathrow Airport, I come off at M40 for the 3rd part of the journey, which takes me into central London, and as I come off the M40, I've got a 2-mile little trek through to where I am working. And as I say, where I work in central London, fabulous vibe about the place, so creative. The people that I work with are fantastic. They are the epitome of a team. T-E-A-M. They are a team, and I am part of that team. and it's fantastic. All different nationalities, all different ages, all different faiths and beliefs, and everybody supports everybody. Everybody basically gets on, and I can tell you that for sure because people have been working that place for 17 odd years. People work in there for a long time. They don't leave because they are happy, and there aren't a lot of places these days. You just got to be happy if someone stays with you for a year, because people don't hang around in businesses these days. They jump from one business to another. That's how it is, but not in this business that I work in, because it's a great business to be in, a people-focused business. And that's what life is about. It's about people. There's some people that go, I don't do people. Oh, bollocks, they don't do people. Well, what a miserable bloody life they've got. Some people say, I don't need to be liked. Well, we all need to be liked. We all need to be liked, don't we? We all need a little bit of loving now and again. Just tell you a little bit about my family. I've got a wife called Tracy who is just beautiful. She's beautiful. Beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside. Me and Tracy were as different as chalk and cheese. I am loud and brash and frank and a bit like rough. Tracy is the exact opposite. She is the nicest person that I've ever known in my life. And man, am I grateful every single day that she is in my life. And she gave me 4 fantastic children, 2 boys and 2 girls. I got a dog. And we used to have a lot of animals. We used to have loads of chickens and ducks and every other little, but they've sort of like died and left us, and we're left with our dog, Millie. So that's my life. I'm aspiring to become a speaker on the big scale. I've been speaking for a long time now. I put out lots of videos, and I thought maybe it might be good to share with you the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. It's a true story. So it's not a story, it's actually a thing that happens. And the reason I share it with you is because I'm a dreamer. I am proud to be a dreamer. Many people who are not creative, many people who I regard as people with closed minds, look at people who are dreamers and write them off as being some kind of stupid, backward kind of people. You know, they say things like, oh, don't listen to them, they're just a dreamer. Well, I admire dreamers, because it's dreamers that gets things done. It's dreamers that change the world. You could have never had an aeroplane. Anything you can think of, actually. You can have a computer, you can have a car. You can have anything that we enjoy, products, ways of life, in our life. We couldn't enjoy that if someone hadn't have dreamed them first. So, if you are a dreamer, if you are working on something, if you have got a aspiration, a target, a goal, or a dream, and I don't like to call it a dream. I want to put some passion, some real passion around it, and say it's a dream. If you've got a dream that you're looking for, this story is there to help you, because it's currently me. I'm a seed. I'm a Chinese bamboo tree seed. Now, I'm telling you this story, and it was told to me over YouTube by a very famous speaker called Les Brown, because one of the things that I don't like to do is to steal someone's words and use them as mine. So I always try to give credit to the person that spoke something that I'm now repeating to someone else. So Les Brown, fantastic, world-renowned speaker. If you don't know him, check him out. This is the story that he told me over YouTube. The Chinese bamboo tree. It takes 5 years, that's right, 5 whole years for the Chinese bamboo tree to grow. And the process that you have to go through in those 5 years is that you plant the seed in the soil, you cover it up, and you have to water that seed every single day for 5 years. And in the first 5 years, nothing happens. Nothing breaks ground, no shoots come up, you don't see anything. You just see the ground, and you just have to water this patch of ground. Now, this is where faith and belief comes into play, because there's a process that's happening that you can't see. But you have got to have, and I mean real faith and belief in that process, that something is going to happen. And you keep watering it for 5 years. Many people get fed up and despondent and think it's a waste of time and think nothing's happening, it's dead, and they give up. So the tree never becomes a tree. But when you think nothing is happening to that seed and it's not growing, what is actually happening is that it is growing and developing a massive root ball beneath the soil that you can't see. And it's only until the 5th year that a miracle happens. Now, I've never seen it, and I'd love to see it because it must be fantastic. In 30 days, the Chinese bamboo tree will grow 30 feet. Can you imagine that? 30 feet in 30 days. Man, you must just be able to stand there and watch it grow. Up it goes. Must be a fantastic sight. The thing about it is as Les Brown says, did it take 30 days for that shoot, for that tree to grow, or did it take 5 years? And the learning from that story is that you have got to have faith in the process. You've got to have faith in the process of growth and of development. You've got to have faith that the idea that you plant and the seed that you're working on is actually going to come to bear fruit for you in your life. And it may take a day, it may take a month, a year, it may take a decade, it may take you 20 years to get to where you want to be with your dream that you've planted in the soil of your mind. And you've got to be working and attending to that dream all that time when you don't think that nothing's happening. When all the time life is happening and developing around you and preparing you for your dream for when it comes true. But if you give up on your dream, just like if you gave up on the seed of a Chinese bamboo tree, even in year 4, it would just not grow. So you've got to have faith and belief in your dreams, baby. And I mean real faith and belief in your dreams, and it's going to grow, and stick at it. And that's where I am. I decided at the age of 52 that my destiny was to be a speaker, and that I had a message to share with the world, with the whole wide world, that I wanted to help people to get themselves to a better place. I wanted to help people who were unhappy, who were sad, who were down on their luck, people who thought they had no hope. I especially want to talk to young people. People that are on the start of the journey of their life, the whole life ahead of them, so that they can be working on their dreams, so that they can know that they can achieve anything that they set their mind to. But here's the thing, here's a little warning about dreaming. Excuse me, time is working against you. Do you hear me? Time is working against you. Because the older you get, the less time that you've got to make a dream come true. The older you get, the less energy that you will have in your body to drive you to make your dream come true. Wherever you are in your life, you can make a dream come true. If you're really old, I used to go to an ice rink and watch 80-year-old people. I mean, 80 years old people out there on the ice, in the centre of the ice, learning and perfecting a new routine. And I was full of admiration for them, because at the age of 80, what a mentality to be going and learning and doing something new and risking their life, because they could slip. If you slipped on the ice at the age of 80, I bet you could give yourself some damage. But there they were. So you're never too old to dream. You're never too old to go after your dream. But just remember that time's working against you all the time. And time works against you, just like as if you planted the Chinese bamboo tree, because if you are not having belief and faith, as time goes by and you see nothing happening, nothing's happening for you, you could give up on that dream. And it could go to the dream graveyard and be a dream that never came to be. Don't let that happen to you. Now, I'm on my journey in my car. And I'm just coming to the end of stage 1 of the M3. I'm just coming up to a town. I live in Petersfield. I'm just coming up to a town called Guildford. And on this road, it's called the Whirly Bit. I call it the Whirly Bit because it's a bendy old road that bends and swerves around the outskirts of Guildford. So I'm just about to get onto the twirly bit, and I've got to slow down to 50 miles an hour, which is pretty damn boring. I think that's it for my little speaking at the moment. May came back and say a little bit more, but I'll give myself a break. I'll give yourself a break because your ears may be bleeding by now. I hope we have some fun along the way. So I'll catch you later. This is the first ever episode of I'm Talking in My Car. And that's what I'm going to call it. I've decided now. My podcast is called I'm Talking in My Car. And as I said, I wish it was a Jaguar. So me and Delilah, that's the name of my car, we'll carry on our journey. We'll leave you, and we hope, as we say, be happy. Because if you ain't happy, ask yourself this. What's the point of it if you're not happy? H-A-P-P-Y. H-A-P-P-Y. If you're not happy, what's the point? Take good care. Stay safe. I'll put out another episode soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye.